The shop is a disgusting mess right now, but we have the new Z and we have a lot of parts. I say a lot of parts, I've already done most of them, but we have more parts from the old Z to throw onto this one. I'm still debating on the exhaust because we have it's an agency performance catback and it sounds really good. But it doesn't have a crossover, so it's not as efficient as the Gemini was. I already put the old shift knob on because I liked it a lot more than I don't know what this thing is. It could be nice, I just don't like it. It's like fully aluminum, really just weird silver. It kind of clashes with the interior, so it's out of there. Of course, we have the wheels going on, they're already good. And on there, I do really need an alignment because if you look here, they're sticking out really far. The front has like no camber. And then if we look at the rear, we have like 3 degrees of camber, I think it was. That's too much, so we got to reduce all that. And then we have the old cold air intakes to throw on, which we're gonna do right now. So, state of the engine bay right now is we have these wannabe cold air intakes. They're just the HPS air ducts. So they gotta go because they're not really doing much. I mean, they do a little bit compared to the stock intakes, so they have the kind of wrinkles on them, which reduce flow a little bit, but they're just still not great as opposed to actually having long tube intakes. So if you don't know Z's, the easiest way to probably get the cold air intakes out is start by taking the strut bar off. Little clips in there come out for the leather stripping. Hopefully, there we go. And then you've got 2 of those little clips right there that require a screwdriver. Feels like you're gonna break it, you just pull up as hard as you can. Not as piece of crap. Okay. Yeah, it's scary. You just keep pulling up. So. I'm gonna start by doing the probably scariest part first, which is removing the MAF sensors. These are very, very, very small screws that love to strip and love to break. I'm gonna pull the MAF sensors out. TNT needle doesn't help with the unclipping. There we go. Perfect, straight out like that. And pull them out. I think I'm gonna start by loosening the air boxes. That should give us some more wiggle room to help us get the ducts off. So just a bolt right here. We're gonna be back with some heavier duty pliers. We're gonna try and get these hose clamps detached. I don't know how much success. Beautiful. Cool. Separate these guys. Just like everything loosened. Pulled it right off. Had to squish it a little bit, but there she blows. Free leaf. This should just pull right out. There we go. Oh, it just took a dive. What the hell? That's what I'm talking about. Right there, the MAF sensor where it screws in just broke. On both sides too. So alongside installed cold air intakes, I didn't remember this. Looks like this part of the PCV is actually held down with a bolt, so we might have to take this front part of the engine cover off to get to it. Come down here, you can't really see it, but we're gonna grab the hose clamp on the bottom of this PCV and work it up. Pull that sucker off. Bingo. Time to check if your throttle bodies are dirty. Good time to clean them. These ones are actually very clean, so not gonna worry about that. But otherwise, it'd be a great time to do that. Just real quick while this is apart, I'm gonna do most of it, but I'm gonna show you guys I have some interior detailer. And this stuff is ideal for these plastic bits with the kind of gritty feel to them. I think that's what it's actually made for. Just all the interior pieces, dashboards and stuff are made out of this material. So, just real quick, I'm going ahead and cleaning under the strut towers as well, or on top of where the strut bar rests, because it's full of dirt and stuff, and I really don't want that to rust later on. So, just like that, we are done, and all that was on the engine bay. So it looks a whole lot better now. Camera didn't pick it up, I don't imagine, but it looks better, trust me. We finally started taking this bumper off so we can do the fun stuff, which is putting stuff on instead of taking stuff off. Taking stuff off sucks. really sucks. I hate it. All right, so all the clips on the top are off. I could have done this in the opposite way. It might have been safer or better to do it the other way. But now I have to jack up the car and take the undershroud off and get all of the clips that hold the bumper on and the fender well out, which involves almost fully removing the fender well, if not entirely removing it, which I'll show you guys how to do. I already showed it in the oil cooler video, but we're gonna do it again just to be safe. So now I have the key in the car. I'm gonna turn the wheel all the way to the left so I have room to get to the fender liner on the driver's side. Then we'll do the opposite for the passenger side, and I'll show you guys how to pull that out. Okay, so we have the clip there, here, and here, and usually there'd be more. There's two right here back to back. That holds on the air dam and stuff. Missing a clip right there. And then you can see where the tires have been rubbing for forever, which is fine, self-clearancing. We gotta take this out, pull it out, and we'll have access to remove the bumper. Not enjoyable. That was like a lot of struggle for probably way too long, but I got it out. I got it out though. The liner's off, we can come up here. We can get this bolt right here. Connects the fender to the bumper right here. I think bumper off. Thanks to help my girlfriend. Basically, you just push back here and pull out, unclip everything, make sure all these clips are gone. I actually thought this had to go. Basically, just come behind, pull out with one hand, and then rip the clips out with the other hand. Try to be gentle, but it's also a pretty durable bumper, so just get everything sorted, pull it off, and carry it to where it needs to go, which for me was over there on top of a towel and some cardboard. And now we have open space to do all the intakes once we remove, actually. Once we remove the ducts, I think we have to do that. The air ducts out, we have to first unclip that little guy right there, which is a nightmare over here because of the AC lines. Compress it with pliers, shove it through just like that. Push it. It's unlocked. Then we have to get this bolt up top, just a 10 mil. I'm not gonna reuse that, so I mean, it doesn't matter. Then we just come over on this side, grab it. Other side I have the twist, there we go. And these are out, so now I have room to throw our new intake couplers through there. Not a whole lot of extra room, but I mean, that's like a good, probably 1/4 of an inch of extra space, so. Fantastic. Let's get some intakes on here. Now I've got to figure out which side goes on what. Which I'm really not too sure about. I think I might actually just guess right immediately. That looks pretty correct to me. I don't know if the couplers that go through the bumper have a side or not. I do know you kind of got to cram them in here. Really force them in. Here on the bumper, this guy, I'm gonna leave the regular hose clamp on, regular style, because there's not a whole lot of room in between the bumper and where the intakes are, so I don't want to be crowding up the space with the giant stud. Beautiful. So if you don't know what these hose clamps are, adds a lot more equal pressure all the way around, so if you have a chance to use these, I recommend it. Okay, getting the PCV lines on, and I'm realizing that I should have done that bottom piece sooner. I don't know why that's like that. I'm gonna pull this off and redo that. So I figured out where all the PCV stuff goes. I'm all the way up here, sorry. I'm gonna get this lined up here. All right, PCV hose back on. Make sure that's all the way up in there. Oh my God. Bit recovered. Wasn't an easy task, but I did it. I'm gonna get to the other side, and then we're going to put the filters on the front, and that should be all good for now until I order more parts and they get in. Okay, so intakes are on, done, fully connected. Probably gonna make sure they don't leak or anything real quick, but they're done. And that's really about all the parts that I have for now. So I'm gonna go ahead and order some, and then it's gonna snow all week anyway. So I'm gonna get some more parts going, and by the time we actually get back up to where the last build was, and maybe even a little farther ahead, I'll have a video for you guys. Totally almost forgot to rice my car out. So I have a power steering cap that just kind of slides over the stock one, and I've got a windshield washer fluid cap. I got these on Marketplace for like 10 bucks. I'm gonna throw them on. They look kind of cool. Power steering fluid cap, the power steering fluid, damn. Fluid cap, damn. Power steering fluid cap. I just have to cut these little winglets off, and then this slides right over it. I think it cleans up the engine bay a decent amount. I mean, it looks pretty nice. It's very subtle, so not very ricey, but I like it. Ready? It's on there, looks good. I think the engine bay is properly shiny. Still missing the strut tower bar, of course, but we're gonna wait because I want to do these bad boys first. So I think that's pretty good for intakes installed. That done. And of course we have the works, and then we did the old shift knob. So that's all the parts I have from the old Z. Okay, so it's been a minute, but we're back and I have parts. A set of Morimoto taillights, along with a set of Morimoto headlights, Z1 side markers, and a Z1 fourth brake light conversion for the little rear deflector. Okay, so we're gonna start with the driver's side headlight. We each have this bolt right here. There's a bolt up under right here. There's a bolt right up here where I left my socket by accident, looks like. And there is one up here on the fender and some kind of little like plastic rubber clips we're gonna have to pull out. But then they should just slide out. We can throw the Morimoto in. And we need to make sure we leave space and time to run the new harness that goes from the fuse box. And I will show you how to do that because not many people do. And I'm also going to make sure that I tuck it in a pretty way so it's not just an exposed wire laying around, flapping around. And when I figure out a route for that, I will show you guys what I did. So if you want to, you can follow my lead. Oh, God, that is scary. So we have a bolt and one of the little body panel clips right here. The headlight should just pull out. I did see someone saying that we need to make sure we don't get the hood release buttons caught up in anything. The hood release line, how it attaches to the headlight right here, we can just, I think, slide this forward. There we go. And it releases, comes off, then you can pull the headlight out. Don't forget that step. So there is a clip on the underside, inside of the headlight here, that holds some wires to it, which is causing me problems. Okay, now that the headlight is out, all we have to do is unplug the connector, and that is one out. Now we have to come on the bottom here, and we have to rob this white bracket here. I've seen some of them in black, but this bracket and then this little bracket right here. You gotta take them off and throw them on the Morimotos. Here's what the assembly looks like finished on the bottom. We have the white bracket. Just down here to the bottom is the little metal bracket that came off the original headlight. And then up here in the swoop, it's covered by the blue tape right now, but you can just about see where that little silver screw is where you put the other bracket. So right here where the battery is kept, there's a clip that holds down this rubber leather trim. That has to come off for us to get to the headlight mounts. And we have to get in there anyway for the Morimoto wiring harness. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take the battery compartment all the way apart. Beautiful. Okay, so the fuse box we're trying to get to is this one right here. So we have to remove this. This is called the cowl according to the Morimoto instructions. So we're going to pop the clips. That was actually already popped. I'm gonna pop these clips and get this thing out of here. Okay, so by pressing back these two tabs to the side here, should allow us to take the fuse box out. Okay, press both hands, but now this is loose. So with the fuse box out, we can release these two tabs on the bottom. And I believe we're accessing the second 10-amp fuse down. I'm gonna verify that, and we're going to hit that and start running the wiring harness if that's correct. Okay, so we are pulling the second 10-amp from the top. And that is a funny looking fuse. I've never seen something like that before. You're going to be replacing that with this harness. Okay, so there we have the harness installed. Like I said, it's the second 10-amp from the top. And then from what I can tell, we're just going to run the wire down to the bottom of this where there is a little gap for wires to run through. We're going to replace the cover. Okay. Beautiful, now it's back in place. I did loosen the battery mount, so we're gonna slide this back over to where it should be and tighten it back down. Okay, I've just got done tucking my wire where I think it's gonna go. So coming from the fuse box in here, it's going to run right along this and come under this weather stripping right here. So if we lift this up real quick, we can see that it's following there and then going under, following right beside the headlight here, and it ducks down to plug into the passenger side. And where it splits off, we have it running right here. We're gonna go right beside the bolt right here. We're gonna run across, a little messy right here, but we're gonna join up with this wire right here that goes across over the intakes. We're gonna follow it, go under, and we're gonna join up with the hood latch, which is gonna go up under the headlight, come around, I zip tied it right here to the subframe, and it ducks down around here and plugs into the driver's side headlight. The only bit of wire that will be visible is this bit right here next to the headlight, which is completely minuscule. I don't think anyone's gonna even notice it. We're completely tucked away. The bumper will cover the rest of this and we'll be good to go. Okay, now that the headlights are installed and working for sure, we're gonna move on to our side indicator. So, I have the Z1 package. I opted for the clear version because it still leaves the actual kind of body of it black, so it'll match, and then it actually has the clear Z, which I think just looks a little better. It adds a bit more contrast. I don't know. It's better in my eyes than the fully black ones, but we're gonna get these installed. From what I've seen, you just kind of pull these. I've seen people pull them out with their fingers, so we're gonna try that. If that doesn't work, we're gonna keep trying other things. The only thing I'm really concerned about here is messing up the paint. I'm really hoping I don't do that. But okay, so just pulling on it wouldn't work. It didn't just pop out. But I have an ingenious idea. Okay, there we go. Gonna attempt to pull on it with the tape. Okay. No. I found another tool to attempt with. This is a putty scraping knife. It should be safe on the paint. I mean, it's very smooth. It's plastic, so I'm just gonna try to... It goes under. This might work. Okay. Oh. How about that? A little $2 putty scraping knife. To start, we're just going to unplug these. Try not to lose that. Thankfully, the other side marker's right here, but has the L on it. So we're just going to plug this in. And chuck her in there. Beautiful. I'm gonna turn the car on and show you guys how these look. So it's time to get started on the taillights. What we have to do here is just take everything out. We're going to undo the clips that are scattered around here. I don't really know if you'll be able to see those because it's pretty dark, but there's 4 clips. I have to take out the carpet and all the things that are on top of the spare tire out of the trunk, and then we're going to be able to access the bolts for the taillights. And this, I think, is weather stripping out. Right up on these panels. Oh. There we go. And they pop out just like that. That's really funky. I gotta show you guys this. It's like my struts moved. So I'm gonna probably jack the car up, take the wheel off, and see what that's about.
Dude, I drove so far with this car like that.
You were so close, but that's not it. So you're also, while we're down here, we're gonna take these rear mud guards off. Okay, car's already up. I'm not gonna set it down yet because we still have to do another part, but right now we're gonna get back to actually doing the taillights. There's also a bolt right down here, and then these 2 10 mils on top, and we're good to go. That is a little guy. Pull out. There we go. So I've also got the 4th brake light kit here, which I mentioned earlier. And they've actually changed this kit since the last time I did it. Last time I did this kit, you ended up just having to, they gave you some little clip downs, and you would end up having to solder and clip down these wires into your actual harness. Now what they've done is they gave us an extension and little shrink wrap pluggy-innies, kind of like a bike turn signal. So this will be a lot easier, a lot nicer. I don't have to pull out the soldering iron like I thought I would. But you can plug this in there, run the wires up, and then clip in the extension and clip in the new wires. So awesome. Thank you, Z1. That's a great update. I love that. So down here, we are looking at the back of the rear reflector. Okay, so the panel is now off and we have access to the back of the reflector. We got just these 2 nuts here, 10s. But now we can just slide the back cover off and slide the actual reflector out through the front. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on the car, but I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. This is your plastic back cover from the reflector. You're gonna use this is the top of it. We are going to feed the wires once it's on the car up through the top of here, so we can run them up to the taillight. The back cover, okay. All right. Okay, here it is all in. Got clips. I broke one, but it's gonna stay like that. Open and honest, I did zip tie it. I couldn't get the clips to go in. I couldn't get the bolt to work. She's sturdy that way. That's how we're rocking it. So now I got a hole here that goes straight down to the bumper to the ground. So we're going to run ourselves a little wire or something to attach to the wires that are down there so we can pull them up. I actually got a portable space heater and I run the power cord through. So we're going to attach the other cords so we can pull them up. Okay. There we go. We have our wires up here now. I think I camera the wrong way. Okay. Crimping pliers. And then all we're going to do is take our new wire, put it inside, stuff it inside the crimp zone, crimp it down. Passes the tug test, and okay, now I find it important to go ahead and keep wires protected. Usually I'd use a loom, but I actually can't find my loom. So I'm just going to wrap these up in a kind of homemade loom with some electrical tape. I really think just... Alrighty, now it's time for the last step of the taillight process, which is the taillight itself. All we're gonna do here is plug in the connector. There we go. Stuff the wires down into the bumper. But I'm gonna get these in and then I'll show you guys the final results. Okay, so we've got the mud guards off. I'm gonna take an eraser wheel to the rest of the 3M tape gunk from the originals, and we're gonna throw on these. These are paint matched to the exact color code I have. Shine Auto rear spats. I think they're the SL model, and I actually got these from the previous owner of this car who had them on. I didn't know that when I went to meet him, and we were talking for a second, and I figured it out. So this car is getting one of its old parts back. I think they're gonna look really good. I'll show you guys when they're on. Alrighty, there we are, and here is the whole new rear end. I think those make the back look a lot more aggressive. The only problem I have with them is they drop a little lower than the mudguards do, so it's gonna catch a little bit of air here, but at the same time, it's fiberglass, so it shouldn't be an issue. You should a little bit more drag. Not really a problem. I think they look great. I can't wait to see the car all together in the daylight.